Everyone talks about reaching the summit, but no one shows you what's really along the Mount Kinabalu trail. So let us show you. You start at Timpahong Gate, the official entry point to climbing Mount Kinabalu. Just a few minutes in, you'll stumble upon Carson Waterfall. Your first photo stop. By the 1 kilometer mark, you'll reach Pondok Kandis, the first rest hut, shaded by thick forests, cool air, and surrounded by wild orchids and pitcher plants. The path here feels easy, but don't be fooled, this is just the warm-up or the honeymoon phase. FYI, every hut along the trail has benches, toilets, cold spring water, and emergency stretchers. After the first kilometer, the trail starts to climb a little more. By kilometer 1.5, you'll reach Pondok Ubah. Ubah means change in Bahasa Malaysia, and that's exactly what happens here. The steps get steeper and the forest turns into nature's gym, filled with roots, moss, and ferns. Around kilometer 2, the slope really starts to test your legs. This is where you'll find Pondok Lowi, named after a pitcher plant, with one of the strangest diets in nature. It feeds on animal poop. Yep, you heard that right. It lures tree shrews with sweet nectar and then collects their droppings as food. At the kilometer 4 mark, you'll reach Layang Layang checkpoint, the halfway point. This is where climbers take a break, have a quick lunch, and refuel for the push ahead. From kilometer 4 to kilometer 5, the trees start shrinking and the air turns cooler. And here is Pondok Villosa. Mount Kinabalu is home to over 5,000 plant species, many found nowhere else on Earth. One of them is the Pentis villosa, a high-altitude pitcher plant. Notice the change in vegetation here. After kilometer 5, you'll reach Pondok Paka, named after Paka Cave, where early climbers once slept under a rock before rest houses existed. From here, the trail transforms into darker granite boulders covered in moss, so be careful with slippery rocks. It looks like a scene straight out of the Lord of the Rings. You might also spot Kinabalu's giant red leech and the giant earthworm here. Between kilometer 5 and 6, the terrain starts to get very steep. Here the path is less obvious, so choose your steps wisely and listen to your mountain guide. There are markers along the way for every 100 meters, but every 100 meters feels like 1 kilometer. Then just before kilometer 6, you'll see Wara's hut. But don't be fooled, this is not the base camp, but a staff quarters. Once you spot the iconic red Penalaban sign, you know you're close. And at kilometer 6, welcome to Penalaban base camp. Fun fact, the red sign is actually made from a helicopter blade. This is where you'll eat, rest, and prepare for the summit push. All climbers dine at Laban Rata Rest House, while other accommodation options include the Sabah Park hostels and Pendan Hut, where Via Ferrata climbers stay. Nights can drop below 10 degrees, so warm layers are a must. If you reach early, walk over to Pendan Hut to see Malaysia's highest post box. Yes, you can actually send a postcard from above the clouds. Then at 2 a.m, the real climb begins. Headlamps on, the forest fades away, replaced by steep granite. This is the summit push. By kilometer 7.5, you'll reach Sayat Hut, the final checkpoint where rangers verify your permit before entering the summit zone. Make sure to look up at the stars and down at Kundasang's twinkling lights. From here to the summit, it's all granite. The air is thin, so take it slow. Each step may be slower than the last, but every one brings you closer to Lowe's Peak. You can spot Donkey's Ears and South Peak, the same peak featured on the 100 ringgit note. And then at 4,095.2 meters above sea level, you've arrived at the summit of Mount Kinabalu, just in time for the sunrise. Temperatures can drop below 0 degrees, so you might even see ice shining in the morning light. The only place in Malaysia where that happens. You're standing at the highest point in Malaysia, and on a very clear day, you can see as far as Malayao Basin. So now you've walked the Mount Kinabalu trail in your mind, but nothing compares to the real thing. Don't just imagine it, experience it. Book your climb with mountkinabalu.com today.